Hello and welcome to another episode of Cracking the Cryptic. And we will be looking at a very unusual rule set in a moment. Now, first of all, do have a look at Simon's solve of Dave Gorman's crossword on the channel from yesterday if you haven't before. Even if you don't follow cryptic crosswords, and many don't, it's quite amusing to watch Simon work his way through it, especially at the end when he suddenly realizes what might be going on and tracks it down. Very much a tribute to his work ethic there. Now, also on Patreon, of course, just now 3 days away from Scott Strossal's Tracking the Triptych puzzle hunt, which we're very much looking forward to releasing. We certainly think that it'll sate the appetite of people who want a tricky Sudoku hunt. There are 3 puzzles, but to describe them as 3 puzzles doesn't really do them justice. Let me put it that way. Yeah, it's a very entertaining set, and I look forward to that. And we are also getting the prize for solving that first, if one can possibly call it a prize, is the opportunity to act as test solver for our March monthly reward Sudoku hunt, which is in preparation. That's one of those prizes that it might be appropriate that the second prize is having to do 2 of the hunts, because it may be as much a chore as a prize, but we hope some people would be interested, and especially people who can do Scott's hunt fast. That's kind of the whole point. Anyway, do consider joining Patreon if you haven't before. Do subscribe if you aren't doing that already. That's totally free. Just click the subscribe button, and welcome anyway to the channel. Now, there's also our apps as well in the description field. Now, this puzzle is from Melvyn Mainini, the designer of our Cracking the Cryptic logo, the one that looks a bit like a key with the C's sort of revolving in a 3D fashion on its fob. Shows up in the opening credits of the videos. Now, Melvyn sent us his first puzzle attempt, and after he had designed the logo, but some time ago, back in summer last year. So apologies to him for not having got round to it until now. That's the way it sometimes goes. But I'm going to give it a go now. The rule set is interesting. Normal Sudoku rules apply, but this is not a normal Sudoku grid. It is a topological torus. Now, don't get scared. What does that mean? It just means that this cell connects with this one. So this one connects with both these 2 for the purposes of the rule that I'm about to try and explain. Every 2 in the grid must be orthogonally adjacent to 2 even numbers, and every 3 in the grid must be orthogonally adjacent to 3 even numbers. That's the rule. And apparently with just that, we're going to be able to solve this uniquely, which is interesting. I don't know how that's going to work, but we have to remember that for those topological adjacencies, this 2 can be adjacent to this 6, for instance. They look through the ends of the grid to the other end. So every single instance of a digit in this puzzle has 4 neighbours. Normally when we talk about neighbours, this cell will only have 2, but it still has 4. That cell's neighbours are there, 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 and there. So there we go. That's the rules. Do give it a try on the link below the video. That's always how to play the puzzle. And I'm going to try now. Let's get cracking. And I want to start with some regular Sudoku, frankly. There's a lot of 3s. And look, there are 4 3s looking at box 6. So they rule out all of those cells, and I can put a 3 in here. 3s are useful. It's nice of him to provide 3s since they're one of the special digits. I can get a 3 in there, then there's an X-wing of 3s in those positions. I thought I was going to get them all. How are 2s doing? Yeah, we can get a 2 in the central box. Again, 4 2s looking into the central box. But no 2s in the corners, so I don't think we can do those. But 2s and 6s, well worth focusing on. Actually, I'll tell you what I've just noticed is a naked single right from the get-go. 63972 in the column, 584 in the row. That has to be a 1. It's the only other digit. So we've got 4, 5 and 8 to place in column 5 after that. 2, 9, 6 and 7 in row 7. They're quite full rows, so it might be worth just sketching out the possibilities here. Oh, it was until that cell had 4 candidates, which is rather too many to be sketching in. Now 7 I can see is confined there, so, and therefore, in fact, by what we did earlier, one of those is a 7. Yeah, we'd better have a look at this rule, I think, to see if it's, I'm just going to note 6 in one of those 2 cells. Yeah, I mean, I might have missed some pencil marking we can do, but we'll probably pick it up in due course. Now, let's have a look. Where have we got a 2 or 3 that's well surrounded? This one. This one already has 2 even digits next to it, and it needs a 3rd. That could be an 8, or that could be a 2. So that's quite a difficult thing to pencil mark. I don't really know how to do that. Maybe we can find a better digit. This 3, again, already surrounded by 2 evens. So one of these is even and one of them is odd. And the even one is not a 4 or a 6. So a 2 or an 8 and a 9 or a 5 in those 2 cells, which is annoyingly unspecific. And I'm not seeing many. This 3 actually does have 2 of its neighbours. And 1 is odd. That 9 is odd. So this 3 has an even there, definitely an even cell here and an even cell here to complete. So that one is a 2 or an 8, as it can see 4 and 6. That is a 6 or an 8. And now the rule has finally bitten. We actually have something from it. Now I was going to look at this 2, which is already next to a 3 and a something, and it needs 2 even digits. The 2 even digits that must surround this 2 are definitely in box 2, and they can't be a 6, so they must be 4 and 8. And that means that 4 and 8 are not in this cell, which must be a 5. So that's a kind of surprise use of the rule. The other of 4 and 8 must be here. And these are all odd. This one sees all of 5, 3, 7 and 9 as well. So I actually know that's a 1. I'm not planning to start shading the whole grid, although it might become necessary. But I was rather thinking we could get where we're going without doing that. But I don't know. We'll see. Now this 3 has an even digit there, whether it's 4 or 8, it's now not 5 because the 5 went there. So this needs 2 more even digits, which are whichever ones from 4, 6 and 8 haven't been used there. And now I'm beginning to think that the even odd shading might actually be worth it. Otherwise I have to put 1, 5, 7. That's not too many candidates to fill in. Right, so I'll tell you what shading I am going to do is to colour the ones that I've dealt with. So that's got 3 even digits now. This one we've dealt with as far as we can. I mean, we obviously have to put a 4 or an 8 in one of those other 2 cells, so we can't really do anything else. This one we haven't dealt with, 1 even and 1 odd. I'm going to need to be careful about that. This one we did do. Now, what's going on here? This has got 2 even numbers, because we don't know what they are, but we do know that those 2 are even. So this is odd. 4 possibilities. What about this? Odd there. And it needs 3 evens. Perfect. So everything else is even. So 7 and 9 are not there. And indeed, we now know where 7 is in this box. That's very clever. And we need evens in both of these cells, which can't be 2, so 4, 6 or 8. Now suddenly we've got a 4, 6, 8 triple in the middle row. So we have 1 or 5 there. These are from 1, 5, 7 and 9, and that one can't be 1 and that can't be 7 or 9. Wow, okay, this is interesting. So we've dealt with that 3. I've dealt with that 3. I was just looking at this 2. I haven't dealt with it, but I have got 2 evens around it. It's very helpful when you get 2 and 3 on a diagonal here. So that obviously needs another odd here, which is 1, 7 or 9. And we've dealt with that one. Dealt with that one. Now 3 up here would be seeing 6, 1, something there and something there. If this was a 3, it would need evens there and there, which is certainly possible. But that would also put a 3 here, which would need evens here, here and here. 3 here, on the other hand, which is a different setup, would need evens here and here. And that would... yeah, I just don't think we've got enough data to deal with that yet. This 3, this has an odd neighbour, so it needs 3 evens. Perfect. So 4 or 8 there, 2, 4 or 8 there, and 6 or 8 here. So we now have a 6, 8, 4 triple. This sees 3, 7 and 9 and is 1 or 5 therefore. So now we have a 1, 5 pair, and that gives us a 7, 9 pair at the top of the box. That can't be 7. Now in this row we've got a 7, 9 pair, a 2, a 4, 8 pair, a 3. This must be 6. Oops. And that leaves a 1, 5 pair in the other cells. That forms a 1, 5 pair over here. Love how this is knocking around the grid and bouncing back on itself all the time. These must be the even digits then, which actually does fulfill this 2 and its need for 2 even digits. Now this 3 we've dealt with, it's got its 3 evens. So we've done all the ones in boxes 4, 5 and 6. This one, no, we've looked at that and we couldn't really make a conclusion about it. What about this? This has got 2 evens already. But that could be odd or even. 3, 2, 1, 6, 7, 4, 9. This is 5 or 8 just by Sudoku. Oh, that can't be 9. There's a 9 in the box. What lunatic put a 9 in there? Someone who doesn't understand the basics of Sudoku. So now this 3 has got its 3 evens and it can just have an odd sitting there, which is a 5, 6. That's 7 or 8. Oh, that 3's been dealt with. What about this 2? It's got 1 odd there and 1 odd on the other side. So these 2 are even. So that's 6 or 8. This can't be 2 anymore. So we've got our 3 other odds, all 4 odds, in fact, in yellow there. This must be a 5 because it's the only odd number left possible for that cell. That sorts out all the 5, 1 pairs in the middle rows, which is very nice. Now we get 2 and 8 as a pair up at the top here. 6 had to be in one of those 2 cells, so it goes in there. And that has broken in a way that I did not want, because that's 2 6s in the same column. Oh no. How did I decide that was a 6? That might be the problem. Because I had evens there and they're seeing a 6. Maybe that 6 is the problem. Oh, maybe that those digits I'd put in for a 2. Yeah, the problem was I wrote in 2 and 9 when there were 2 candidates, but they weren't 2 and 9. They were 2 and 6, which gives me a pair. of cells that can't be a 9. That one because this needs an even number there, yes. So I'm sorry about that, but we've found the mistake. We can unwind it. That 9 is now a 9. One of those two is a 9. Let's be a little bit more careful from now on. 4 in one of those two. No, that doesn't take me forward. Okay, but now we can be a little bit more careful. This 3 has been done. It's got, it's got definitely 3 evens now, so that is odd. And that conclusion stands for a better reason this time than because that had to be a 2. I mean, I could actually, now I've got this 6. Let's go up here and use what that gives us. 6 there. And that makes this a 2 and this a 6. And that's all working better. Thank goodness. Right, that 3, we've dealt with that. That can go blue. This 2 has got 2 odds. It needs 2 evens. And this one has to be an 8 to make that work. This 2 has a 7 above and a 6 below, so it needs 1 odd and 1 even to the side. I can't really deal with that. Now, 2 is in one of these cells. There it would be fine. It would have a 6 and a 4 as neighbours. Here, possible. Okay, that's not resolving either. Oh, right, now, going up here, this is 2 or 8. Because of the column, that's all that's left. Now this 3 has got an odd neighbour there, 2 evens there, it needs another even. That's got to be a 4. Bear in mind this is a 2-8 pair here, and 6 is also ruled out. So 4 goes in. We've dealt with that cell. Where does 2 go? Oh, yeah, okay. Can it be here? Yes, that would obey the rule. Can it be there? It would have 9 below, 3 above, and then these 2 would have to both be even, and this one can't be, so that can't be a 2. This one can't be because the 2-8 pair and 4 and 6 already used up. So in fact we have 1, 5 and 7 to place in these 3 cells. I think we can certainly do the 5, which is here. In fact we can finish the whole row very easily. Which gets me a 4 down there and an 8 here, and that gives me a 4 here. I'll go back up to that 2 in the corner in a moment, which is not a 2. That can't be a 4 now, and then the trail, well, it runs a bit dry. We'll be back there in a second. Now, we decided this couldn't be a 2 because this is odd, and that would give it 3 odd neighbours. So that is the 8. The 2 is here, and it is obeying the rule. It has 6 there, and what is now 8 for definite here. 5, so we've got 7, 4, and 9 to place. That's 7 or 9, so the 4 goes here. That's not a 4. That is 3 or 7, just by Sudoku. Let's take out the corner marks, which are just cluttering the cells now. The 4, that can't be a 4, so 4 goes in here. Now what's that doing for this 2? It's given it its 2 even neighbours, so it needs an odd here, being 5 actually. It can see a 1, 7 and 9 in the box and a 3 in the row. So that one's been dealt with. Now this is a 3, why can't I cancel the numbers? Let's try again. A 3, 6 pair. We need a 9 in row 8. That's going to have to go there with a 1, 2 pair at the end. This pair is now a 7, 8 pair, which can be written in. That makes this a 6 and a 1 here to finish the box. That's an 8. Now we get a 4, 6 pair. In fact, I can sort them out in row 5. That gives me an 8 there. 7 and 9 are resolved. I think we're just about finishing off now. We may not need the rule anymore, and that's a dangerous thing to say. But 7 and 9 are resolved. We can obviously finish at the top of this column with a 1 and a 7. That fixes 3, 9, 7 and 9. Now I've got a 4 and a 2, 5 pair. So maybe I'm going to need the rule again. Now this 3 will resolve it. It's got 1 even, 2 evens, it needs a third. That has to be a 2. So we've dealt with that 3. This 2, yes, it's got an 8 and a 4 as neighbours. This 3 has the 3 evens we can see there, and an odd looking up through the grid at that 5. Ooh, we've got almost everything highlighted except in row 8, which we're still going to have to resolve, and which will hopefully, maybe we don't need it. No, that's a 1, 5 there, 1 there. This 5-7 pair is resolved. That fixes the 1-5 pair. This 3-6 pair must be resolved as well. And this 1-2 pair. So that's the final grid. Let's just check that this 2 obeys the rule. 6 above and 4 on its right, which is actually its far left. And this 3 has 8, 8 and 4. What a beautifully designed grid. That's as you would expect from a designer, I guess. That's exactly what Melvyn would produce. So really pleased to have unlocked the key to this puzzle, as it were. Great fun, nice puzzle. I hope you had a go at that. That's really doable, but very entertaining. And I do like occasionally using this toroid property. I've seen it more in irregular Sudokus where it can get very confusing, but it was very nicely deployed there, I thought. So I hope you enjoyed that. And again, do subscribe if you haven't already, but thank you very much for watching and hope to see you again soon on the channel. Bye for now.